Monsters in Barotrauma. Where can you find them, what do they do, and what is the best way to dispatch them? In this guide, we're going to look at the small to medium-sized monsters most commonly found in caves and the open ocean of Europa. There are currently 27 different types of monsters in Europa, with a few more planned on the way. Starting off, we're going to look at the most common monsters on Europa, the crawler. For the crawlers, there are currently 4 variants in the game: the crawler hatchling, the crawler, the husked crawler, and the crawler brood mother. First on the list is the hatchlings. These can only be found inside caves on crawler nest missions. These are fleshless horrors that have half the health and damage of a regular crawler. So what is a regular crawler? They have 85 health, no armor, and are small enough to enter most parts of the submarine. Talking about monster damages, all the monsters in the game have a damage range. This is based on what type of attack they use. For crawlers, their damage ranges are as follows. They do between 3 to 12 bite damage, apply bleeding between strength 5 to 12, stun a target from 0.25 to 1.5, and provide a flat structural damage for 35. They are easily killed by most weapons in the game, meaning you can take them one-on-one without much gear or advanced weapons. However, if you get caught by a swarm outside the submarine, they can continuously stun lock you whilst they attack. This can be deadly if you're not careful. They are also cannibalistic by nature and will begin to eat the closest target that is dead. This means you only need to kill one before the rest of the group piles on top of it and begins to feast on the dead corpse. If you need to kill a swarm, explosive ammo is best, but honestly, you might as well save it for more dangerous encounters and just use the regular coil gun instead. They also drop the much needed alien blood, which is used to craft blood packs. Next, we have the crawler husk. They currently have 100 health, and these are the only other things, apart from humans, that can succumb to the husk infection. You can identify these by the feelers below the mouth. And for damages, the husk crawler can inflict between 3 to 12 bite damage, 10 to 20 bleeding damage, stun for 0.25 to 1.5, and does a flat structural damage for 35. Its attack to humanoids can also add the husk affliction for strength 5. The last for this section is the crawler brood mother. This is a large entity with a considerable amount of health, standing at 600 vitality. You will encounter it most commonly on the combat mission called Crawler Mother. This monster will dive bomb your ship and literally spawn hundreds of crawler eggs in its path. These serve to slow down your efforts to effectively shoot it, as your turret projectiles are now blocked by eggs. Its main attack is to spit eggs at your submarine. This will apply corrosive damage to your hulls for 150 structural damage per egg. Its other attacks do bite damage for 60, causes bleeding for strength 30, and will do 100 structural damage to the submarine. The best way to deal with the broodmother is aim high and, if possible, use explosive ammo. On the positive side for this one, once the broodmother is dead, you can pick up any remaining eggs and refine them into sulfuric acid. This is commonly used in the explosive compound N. In addition, the broodmother will drop 2 alien blood and a swim bladder on death. Every time a broodmother dies, make sure to hit the like button on this video to flex on your kill count. Moving on, we have the Spinelings. These creatures are small in nature, poorly armored, but move very fast. They have 50 health, and the main attack is a high piercing needle that can penetrate through the entire submarine. This causes hull damage and minor breaches throughout the submarine. They usually spawn in swarms that can also be found inside caves as well. For the damage, the Spineling spike does a fixed 10 laceration, 10 bleeding, and has a stun of 0.25. The spike penetrates through multiple items, and it can hit up to 3 limbs on a character. This means those damage numbers can be multiplied by 3 to showcase a damage potential. Each spike also does 20 structural damage for each part of the ship hit. Spinelings also drop alien blood once they have been killed. Next for the Spinelings, we have the giant Spineling. It's about 6 to 8 times bigger than the regular Spineling and is encountered most commonly on the mission Kill a Giant Spineling. It has a huge health advantage of 500 vitality, which is 10 times more than its regular variant. Its spike does 15 laceration, 10 bleeding, and stuns a target for 0.25 seconds. It can hit up to 10 limbs on one character and has a penetration of 50%, meaning the spike can be deadly if it hits at the right angle. It also does structural damage for 80 for any part of the ship it hits. The best way to take this creature down is with a high damage ammunition, such as the Physicorium coil gun or railgun shell loaded with extra explosives. Giant Spinelings will drop up to 3 alien blood and a swim bladder when killed. Next, we have the Mudraptor. This is a heavily armored monster that reduces all incoming damage by up to 90%. It can be found in wrecks, the ocean, caves, and can also be spawned as a Mudraptor hatchling or a veteran Mudraptor. The hatchlings can spawn from eggs. These can be found inside caves, on the combat mission Terminate a Mudraptor Nest, at abandoned outposts with infested Mudraptor nests, or can be found and bought throughout some of the NPC outposts. You can grow your own Mudraptor hatchling by feeding an egg a total of 3 saline. Despite spawning it yourself, it will attack any humanoid in sight. So, unfortunately, you can't keep them as pets. The hatchling has 60 health and the same 90% armor protection, but they do 75% less damage than the full Mudraptor. Moving on to the regular Mudraptor, these normally appear in packs of 3 and stay closely grouped together to attack the same targets. They have 120 health, do between 10 to 60 bite damage, apply bleeding of strength 10 to 20, and can stun targets from 0.2 to 3 seconds. They also do up to 60 structural damage and can easily get inside the submarine. Finally, we have the veteran Mudraptor. This is slightly bigger than the regular one, has 300 health, and does double the damage of the regular Mudraptor. This makes this variant much more deadly and potentially can breach your submarine in a very short amount of time. As these variants are heavily armored, the best way to deal with them is to use the piercing ammo from the coil guns. Or if you're in close quarter combat, try to aim at the underside or feet of the Mudraptor, as these areas take double damage and are not armored. Alternatively, you can shoot one with the medic's gun and Raptor Bane extract, crafted from the plant Raptor's Bane. One application is enough to terminate a Mudraptor of any size after a short delay. The regular and veteran variants will drop Hydroxyapatite and have a chance to drop a small Mudraptor egg or a Mudraptor shell. Stay tuned for the next guide where we're going to look at monsters found on wrecks. I hope you found this useful. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time. Peace. Before the outro video, I want to thank all my Patreon supporters. You mean the world to me and allow me to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you.
Na, na, na.
And for damages, the crust crawler. Make sure that one gets into the edit.